Hi guys, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Meals with Maria and another weekend prep video. Today I'll be making a spaghetti squash casserole that's a make-ahead meal for the week, as well as a cauliflower mac and cheese. I'm also canning some tomatoes from my garden, making some snacks, and a Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl dupe. Right now, I'm just salting and peppering my spaghetti squash with some olive oil to pop in the oven. This is really cool because you can make this ahead. I'm just going to poke some holes in it to let some steam out and cook it at 350 for 30 minutes. I did actually do this the day before, so here I am ready to make my casserole. I just have a container of Alfredo sauce from Aldi, a tomato from my garden, a zucchini from my garden. Oh, I'm not going to use that whole thing, it's huge. And some chicken. I actually end up using 2 chicken breasts in this because that's quite a bit. I made that in the Instant Pot, and I will link the recipe down below. I actually was able to pull it right out of the freezer and cook it from the Instant Pot directly. Here, I'm just going to slice my chicken up into cubes and place it into my casserole dish. I'm also just going to dice this tomato up and put that on top of the chicken as well. Just following the same exact process for our zucchini. For the spaghetti squash, you just want to take a fork and kind of pull all the squash out, and it should come out just like strands of spaghetti. For this size casserole, I actually only needed to use 1/2 of this very large spaghetti squash. Just going to mix everything up, add the Alfredo sauce, and top it with about 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. At this point, you can either cook it at 350 for 30 minutes, or you can pop it in your refrigerator like I am and save it for another day where you can do the same exact warm-up method. I forgot to mention that I added some fresh basil on top because fresh basil never hurts anything. We absolutely loved this casserole. My husband used it one night when I was out with friends, and then we ate it for lunch the rest of the week. It's really great because it's healthy, and it's actually keto and low carb if you're into that kind of diet. Now it's on to the cauliflower mac and cheese. I've been wanting to make this for a while. So we're just going to take a head of cauliflower and chop it up into smaller pieces. I'm using kind of an interesting method where you kind of cut like a little triangle in the middle of it, and it really just pulls everything out of the bottom of the cauliflower. It makes it easy to cut up. When you're doing this, don't worry about, the stems versus the top of it. It will all turn out really well because you're going to steam or actually boil the cauliflower so that it's all cooked and it's all soft. You won't have any like chunky, not good tasting pieces. So I'm just going to take this cauliflower and pop it into a container of boiling water for about 8 minutes and then drain. I'm going to use about 1/2 package of whole wheat macaroni. I love this method because you have cauliflower, but you also have regular mac and cheese. So this is especially helpful for my kids. Just using the regular instructions on the package and then grating some cheddar cheese. I end up with about 1/2 cup. You can use already grated if you'd like. And as I was saying, my kids will eat this because they don't really realize that there's cauliflower in it, so it's kind of a huge win. I'm just adding a package, and I didn't get the size on this, of Velveeta cheese from the Dollar Tree, as well as my grated cheese. Mixing that up while everything is still hot so that it melts. And then I'm adding about a half a cup of sour cream to that as well. This is a riff on a recipe by Fit Girl's Guide, which is like a diet method, I think, but they have like a skinny mac. As you can see there, I just added some salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. This should all be to taste. You can try this at any time during this process, and you definitely want to check and make sure that you did get enough salt, pepper, and garlic powder in there. Now, I'm not adding any crumbs over the top of this right now because I do not want them to get soggy. When it is time to make the casserole, I'm just going to take a pan and 2 tablespoons of butter and mix that with 1 cup of breadcrumbs, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, a few tablespoons of chopped parsley or dried parsley, and 3 tablespoons of hot sauce. I absolutely love this like buffalo flavored crumb mixture on top. This was so good. We ate it all week. If you don't like the spicy, you can just omit the hot sauce part of it, but I 100% recommend it if you do like a little bit of buffalo. It really makes it fantastic. I just bought and washed some grapes, and now it's time to slice them. My kids are 5 and 3, and I do still cut their grapes for them. I just want to make sure that there's no choking. So it is one of the weekend prep things that I do just to get our household ready and make sure that there are snacks for the kids to eat at any time. Next up on my list is canning some tomatoes from my garden. I do have a bunch of plum tomatoes. In order to do this, I just cut these little crosses into the end of the tomatoes and pop them in a container of boiling hot water. I'm really only going to let them sit here for 2 to 3 minutes, and at that point the skin kind of gets to a point where it can just slide right off. At that point you pour them into the sink, and you can see right here that the skin comes off really easily. I do want to let them cool a little bit, but at that point, just slide the skins off and pop them into some jars. I'm hoping this might be a little bit of a motivation to you to can if you've been afraid to, because honestly, I was terrified of canning for like 3 years. I lived in my house for 5 years and had a garden every year, and a couple years I ended up freezing some stuff, but I've just never, I was just scared of canning for some reason. And it's so much easier than I anticipated it would be. It's 100% worth it, and I'm excited to use these tomatoes this winter. Once your cans are full, you just want to add a squeeze of citrus to each can, cover them up, and I'm going to lower them with like a special canning thing that I have into a pot of boiling water. So we leave these in a covered boiling pot for 45 minutes. And then I'm going to take them out and cover them with a damp cloth. During this time period, the top should actually pop down to seal, and they will be done when they're cooled off. Now it's time to make the breakfast bowl dupes. So I'm going to use some eggs. I have these diced potatoes that are from Aldi. They've been in my freezer forever, and some leftover bacon. So I kind of found a bunch of stuff. I figured let's put them in these containers and it'll be just like one of those Jimmy Dean bowls that you buy at the store. When I'm cooking bacon for like a quiche or a bowl like this, I honestly just pop it in the microwave. It is the easiest way to cook it and the easiest way to clean up. I only fit about 4 strips on one plate, but that's honestly just fine. I just pop it in the microwave for about 5 minutes for each time that I'm cooking the bacon. For my breakfast potatoes, the reason that I like using these for bowls is they're just super tiny, and I don't really know if you can get them somewhere else, but I'm actually going to air fry those. And while they're air frying, I'm just grating some cheese, kind of the rest of the cheddar from the cauliflower mac earlier, and cooking the rest of my bacon. I'm going to scramble my eggs, which I'm actually just going to use a whole dozen for because mostly these are for my husband. So each bowl is going to have 3 eggs in it, which is a decent size. To scramble the eggs, I'm just going to cook them over medium-high heat in a frying pan with some butter. Really nothing fancy here, that's just my method for scrambling eggs. At this point, everything is ready to assemble the bowls, so I'm just going to start by putting the potatoes at the bottom. Once those are full, I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Top that with the eggs in equal portion. Bacon. And last but not least, our cheddar cheese. These were so good, guys. You just pop these in the microwave for like a minute and a half, depending on your microwave. I tried one. I absolutely loved it. Dan really enjoyed them. They were a big hit. Now it's time to make the last item on my list, which is these little 4-container snack boxes. If you watch my other videos, you know that I absolutely love these things, and I will link these below for you if you're interested in buying some. I'm just going to put some shelled pistachios, some sun butter, some chopped up celery, and I'm actually going to take those cheese sticks and cut those up into little cubes too, because that's all I had left for cheese. Just trying to be resourceful. I like putting different things in the boxes to make everybody happy through the week and just have something to grab and go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, definitely hit that thumbs up button. I hope that this is a little bit inspiring for you and your own weekend prep, and then I can hopefully give you some new ideas for you and your family. If you like what you see and you want to see more of it, I'm going to put a playlist of my other weekend prep videos below. I do them every Sunday, so if you don't want to miss one, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. I hope you guys have a great week ahead, and I will see you soon.